here. We're back on the podcast with Mr. Joey Toth, and Joey plays a role in overseeing business operations, brand strategy, and creative direction. He's the Chief Operating Officer of Dada Media, and you can find all about their mentorship program at davidtuteramentorship.com, where they help to transform your passion into success. And Joey is going to be talking to us about all these amazing experiences that he creates and puts on, and how he's changing the world, how he's passionate about storytelling and personal transformation, and how that relates to and benefits you. So, Mr. Joey, glad to be speaking with you.
Nice being with you too, Robert. Thank you for having me on today. I'm excited to just be here and to talk a little bit with you about what we've done and what we've been doing for people and helping them transform their lives, their business, looking at things from a different perspective, a lot of mindset focused pieces.
Well, great.
For me, one of my passions is seeing people smile and seeing people really living out their best lives. You know, I do live with the rosy colored glasses on, and I do see the potential in everybody and opportunity and everything all around us. And so for me, a passion is trying to connect others with that and trying to connect others to get past some of their own barriers and just be happier, create more, live in your fullest potential, and be there and experience it because it's great.
Yes, 100%. I agree. We need that. Too many people are adrift, aren't they? And like you always hear about this kind of psychological stuff about how like your brain's job is not to make you happy, right? Your brain's job is to keep you safe, but that can lead to a lot of kind of middleness, misery, dread, regret, like it's just a little bit of stress, just enough, right? So we need to kind of overcome that programming and sometimes do things that make sense logically but not emotionally, and then surround ourselves with good people and good experiences. And so like how does that happen? Like you're all about this personal transformation. Like where are people at when they come to you, and what needs to happen, what needs to change?
They're all across the board when they come to us. There are some people that have got to a level that they're really doing great, but know that there's more. And then there are some people that are just completely lost and say they know that they need to do something, they just don't know what to do. And it's always, well, this happened to me, and then this happened. And, you know, it's all the story that they're just stuck in so much story and they can't get past it. So we meet people with where they are. So whether they're here and they already have a good foundation and are now ready to say, okay, what am I missing to get me to that next step? Or whether they're still just in that struggle place. They're in that, you know, lull of life where everything is just piling on top of each other and nothing seems to ever want to work or is going to work for them, but they just know that there's more. So we meet them wherever they're at to start peeling back the layers, identifying truly what their deep level why is, not just the surface level of, you know, I want to be happy or I want more money. Well, why do you want to be happy? Why do you want more money? And then from there, why do you want that? You know, I want freedom. I don't want to feel as much stress. Okay, well, what will being free and having less stress bring you? What's that all about? Tell us more. And really getting a person to dissect themselves. It's not us telling them what to do because, you know, not many people like being told what to do. So
Right.
it's us as coaches, when we put on that hat, it's putting on that hat to help a person get to their core belief. And in some cases, really see what's been holding them back of that. Because I think a lot of people do, when they get down to that core, they do find a very strong core, but they find all these things that have happened in life that have told them no, or they've told themselves no because of it, or they've been scared and they've held themselves back. And it's that middle of the road that you were talking about, that they just are, you know what, I'm just going to stay here. And so it's saying, don't stay there. You don't have to. You're ready for more. You should get more. You should be able to expand and explore and experience all that there is, and then create more so that you can create more joy for others. Because when you create more joy for others, then you're living in a happier place. And then it feels nicer for you to live in a happier place. So do your part. And I mean, that's our other side of the business with the events of creating joy and magic for our clients too. So I get to see both sides of it, which is really fun for me.
Well, great. So you're saying that people have been beaten up by life, basically, right? And they've told themselves these stories just to kind of just keep things where they're at, and they need to ask these difficult questions with your help to figure out their why. And so when they're figuring out this kind of like life purpose, so to speak, like what are the answers? What conclusion do people get to as far as what they're really all about?
They start, if they're honest through the journey, and that's the biggest piece, is to get somebody comfortable. So a lot of our coaching too is to get our people that we're working with to be comfortable, to be honest with themselves, to be vulnerable with everyone around them, of just, this is who I am, this is what I'm thinking. And if you think what I'm thinking is crazy, that's okay, because I really believe it, and this is something that I want, and I'm going to go after it. And I'm going to stop letting all the voices in my head and the conversations that I'm making up that people are having about me stop me from it. And so it's really connecting them to who they are to get past those barriers. And it's a lot of, sometimes that emotional talk to go through, and to realize that whether it was something that happened in childhood that they didn't even realize, that they were always, you know, told this or said this or not responded to in a certain way. So they never felt that they could shine. They never felt that they could have a voice, whether it was something, even, some of the things that I think everyone has had that experience of. You remember your childhood in elementary school, and, well, if I raise my hand too much, then, people are going to be like, oh, I'm a teacher's pet. Or if I raise my hand and I'm wrong, then people are going to think I'm stupid. And so unfortunately, sometimes we carry that mindset throughout our entire lives, and it holds us back from our true potential of what is possible. Sometimes it also is that we have people that are serial entrepreneurs, but they just, their first couple of tries out of the gate have not been successful, and that's beaten them down. Okay, well, I'm a failure. I don't know what I'm doing. I should just go and, do a basic job and not try to do this anymore, because I'm not capable of doing anything. I failed at everything in my life. And it's coming back to them on those stories that they're telling themselves and saying, well, find the lesson in that. Let's talk about that. You failed. We all fail. We all have failed at times. I've had business failures, which aren't fun to go through. But if you're able to then go back and dissect it and find a lesson, find something to grow from in that failure, it's not failure anymore. And it's it's that mindset piece, and really shifting perspectives to say, everything on our journey can help us grow if we look at it that way. And let's find the growth, and let's celebrate that.
Let's find the growth. Let's celebrate it. Let's convert that failure into lesson. And I think that's a really interesting opportunity here, Mr. Joey, to find out a little bit about you, because when as you said, there's all this like counterintuitiveness that comes with being a successful business owner, entrepreneur, right? You take these calculated risks. You don't be afraid to fail. You don't be afraid of looking stupid, but you also kind of think things through, have a strategy, have people helping you out. So I'm curious about your business failures that you've then kind of regretted at first, but then looked back at and then used as a learning experience. So, like, what is discussion worthy, noteworthy about you and your past failures?
Absolutely. I had a great start to my career. I started very early. I was in corporate, worked for Chase, worked my way up through there. I was one of the youngest supervisors they had, one of the youngest managers, in the division that I was in. And I learned a lot about structure, and how to work with people, and how to communicate in business and how to create strategies and how to execute on strategies. From there, as I graduated from ASU, I got into commercial real estate. Loved commercial real estate. I did a lot of new business development. I was cold calling. And there I had to learn it is all about numbers. You're going to get hung up on. You're going to be told no. You're going to be told this person's not available that you want to talk to pitch something to. And so you have to figure out how to be creative and how to come at things in a different perspective, but also how to come at things in a way of service. So when I'm calling somebody to try to pitch them what I want them to do, I have to figure out how I can be of service first to actually get them to speak to me and provide some immediate value to that conversation. So I rocket shipped through this. And then one of the people I was working with, he hired me to become the CEO of his franchise consulting company. It was a great concept, great plan, taking a lot of my skill sets that I've learned over the time. We built this company over the course of a year, signed up a lot of new clients, and then the market crashes on us. And unfortunately, there was too much leverage. The business had to shut down. And so that business closed and it failed. And then from that business, I was able to I took a lesson there of just looking at, okay, how do we maybe over leverage ourselves here? Because we had a good concept, but if we weren't as over leveraged, we could have continued on. And that was a lesson that then I carry forward to this day of just looking at that as I'm going out there and exploring opportunities. I mean, there's opportunities all around us that come up. And when I'm looking at them personally, I'm looking to say, okay, this does sound great, but if I do this, is it going to take my time away from here? And I'm better off with my time spent over in this area because I have a better return on it. Or does this provide me some kind of other fulfillment? Does it give me something else? Are there other people to bring on this so I don't over leverage myself? Are there other investors to come in? And just look at perspectives differently. That was my first lesson there, was on this whole concept of sometimes we bite off more than we can chew and we over leverage ourselves. The other lesson I had was actually right after that one. I rolled out of that company. I rolled into a new franchise. It was something that was great. And it actually got me into my passion of coaching and health and wellness and yoga and all these other pieces of life outside of corporate America, outside of my analytical business mind. It got me into this piece of my heart where I really was connected with people, because I always wanted to help people and be of some kind of service, as I shared, even in that new business development. And I did this franchise concept that was a health and wellness concept, launched it, was very excited about it, I learned more. I went to classes, got different certifications, did all these different things. You have to get certifications. Well, you have to know what you're doing, but you also have to work in your business.
Right.
And if you don't work in your business enough and on your business, it's not going to succeed. And so it's finding that balance. And so that was one of the things that now I'm able to bring as we coach and we mentor other professionals out there, that some are on that starting line and saying, well, I'll get started, but I first need to do this training over here to get this certification, and then I want to do this certification, and then I need to go to that coaching retreat, and then I need to go to that, and then I need to buy this program because this is a good program for my business, and this program. Like, no, you don't need to do all that. Yeah, it all sounds great, but again, scale it. Start with something simple. That was one of the mistakes I made in that franchise, was everything sounded great. The CRM sounded great. This SEO, custom localized website thing sounded great to bring in new leads. So money was going there. And my time was going here. And I was getting pulled away from, again, what I got into it, of the passion of helping these people that were actually coming through my doors, leaving that elsewhere. So it's accepting that we will fail at times. We don't want to. But when we do, don't make just create it to be a lesson. So at least that whatever you lost, it turns into something of value on the other side. And that's where I find myself now today in this business that I'm in. We really have done a lot to scale it, to look to see what makes sense, what doesn't. Where are we investing our time? Where are we investing our energy, our resources? Yeah, everything can sound great, and people are great salespeople, and I admire salespeople. I think we're all salespeople in some respects, but we can't always be sold on everything. We have to understand where we're going first.
Yeah, and it's a lot to navigate, right? A lot of nuance, and
Yeah,
it seems like you describe like two extremes here, right? There's like the over parallelization where there's like all this FOMO where you're like, well, I could do this, 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 and then there's like the over serialization where the plan is too complicated and too long, and it's like I have to do these 13 different steps, and then I'll get what I want, and then I'll be happy. And it's like there's somewhere in the middle there where we can get what we want and make progress and still scale and still see results, but also focus on this big picture. And how do we avoid overthinking it? Because you're talking about like, you had that business that was over leveraged and it was like,
yeah.
well, 80% of it was good, but this one part of it, it wasn't good. And I can see how it might lead to the what if thinking, or like someone comes to you for coaching and they get all this swirl of ideas and that can very easily backfire. And you say, well, now I'm just overloaded with all the stuff I have to do. So how do we just avoid this sort of overwhelm?
For me personally, it's been a place that I've been able to find, and I call it you get into the eye of the hurricane, get into the calm of the storm, where everything can be swirling around you, but you have to be in a place that is calm. So you can see it all swirl. You can see all these different things around you. But if you can step out of the swirl, you're still in it, it's still all happening, and be in the center to actually be calm and see all the different choices you have, pause, think about it, and then start making conscientious choices versus you're in the storm and you're just fighting of, okay, well, this is coming at me. This sounds good. Take it. Go. This is coming at me. Coming at good. Go. And you lose track of where you're actually going, and the storm's pulling you instead of you directing the storm. So when you calm yourself down and when you pull yourself out of all of the immediate needs for answers, needs for decisions, and just say, I can pause, even if it's for just 5 seconds or a minute, I can have a conscious pause to think about what I'm doing. Sometimes that might just mean that you can sit there in silence and think about it. Sometimes you're going to pick up your pen, you're going to jot down, all right, I have this option, this option, this option, and you're going to look at it. One of the big keys as you write down, here are my options, think about where do you want to go and how does that align. The other thing you said too here, which I loved, was, people are always say, well, I need to do these 17 things and then I can be happy. No, be happy now. You can be happy whenever you choose to be happy. Happy is a mindset. So choose to be happy, and then realize how things can get easier. Yes, even as you're stressed, you can still choose to be happy. Even as terrible things are happening, you can choose to say, all right, there are still things I can be grateful for. I'm still here. And that's been a big part of my journey too, is this whole lesson of connecting back to gratitude and letting that drive through some of the difficult times, some of the failures, is coming back and saying, at least I had that chance to fail. At least
Ooh.
I took that chance to fail and I gave myself that opportunity. And having gratitude for yourself, I think also gives you back that power. Because sometimes, a lot of us are control freaks, even if we say we're not. We're control freaks. We want to have some control over our lives, over our destiny, over what happens to us. When the fact is, it is our choice. It's our choice how we take in the experience. It's our choice how we take in every single experience, good, bad, neutral, and how we frame it in our minds. and how we move forward with it. So it's for me in the coaching and in working with people and sharing the message, um, it's trying to get people to connect back and realize that their choice is very powerful. The choices they make, and if they slow down and realize their power in everything, they actually can see that everything then is possible all of a sudden. It's not a myth. It's not just for this certain group of lucky people. It's not just for this certain group of people that got this education or that education. It's for everybody and anyone who just wants to start being more intentional, more aware, and giving more thanks and gratitude to everything around them. And, for some people, they can go to that opposite extreme of they hear the concept of, "Well, I just need to start manifesting. If I start manifesting, then everything's going to happen for me." And they take that to mean of, "Well, I'm just going to say this is going to happen for me and it's going to happen." No, you need to have those thoughts of what you want to happen, but then you do need to take action along the way. You can't just say, "Do it for me."
Right, you can't just say, "I wish it," and it should magically be delivered to me. We all wish
Yeah,
that would happen, right? When we were
we do.
kids, maybe to an extent, but then as an adult, it's like, hey, you have to do the work, you have to get through the failure, have the strategy, have the plan. And so I love your philosophy here, and I can tell you're passionate about it, and I can see how the other side of the coin there, especially like the yoga training that you picked up, can help when we say, well, I'm so stressed. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. You say, well, first off, calm down and take a little bit of time, take those few seconds or minutes just to get back to a normal, rational state. And then instead of driving yourself crazy, say, hey, what are my possible decisions? What are maybe my two or three or four things I could do, and write them down and think about what that will get you, and is that in service of your goals and your plans? And so this is wonderful and helpful to think about here, Mr. Joey. And I can definitely see why you do what you do and how fulfilling it can be to help these people. And you said that there's like these two businesses that you have. So can you tell us about that so that someone knows if they are in need of it, if they have this problem, if you're the person to help, then can they understand what's the service you provide?
Certainly. Um, so we have our two businesses. We have our event planning business, which is really to create exceptional, once in a lifetime events for our clients. Which that's where we get into our clients' head and world to just create something that's been unforgettable, whether it's a wedding, a birthday, an anniversary, a corporate celebration, what have you. And then we have our other business, which is the coaching and mentorship side. And the coaching and mentorship side is one that isn't just directed towards the event planning industry. We have a track for the event planners that want to elevate their event planning career, but then we have a track and we have coaching to entrepreneurs, anybody that is out there that just feels stuck and knows that there's more, that they are frustrated of where they're at and they know that there's something better on that other side. They just are blocked to get there. Those are the people that we want to work with. The people that are ready to move there to the next level, but just don't know, and they feel that something is stuck. Those are the people that I align with the best, is because they want to be coachable. They want that coaching. And that's the rule number one of you have to be coachable. If you're not coachable, let's save your money. Don't hire us because you're not ready. And we're not going to be of service to you at that point. But if you are coachable and you know that there's more. You don't know what that more might be. You just know whatever you're feeling, you know you can do something else. You know there's greatness that's out there. And for whatever reason, it just hasn't landed on you yet. Those are the people that we like to work with. Those are the people that we want to help, to inspire, to help to uncover what is holding them back. And so we have group mentorship coaching, we have a mastermind group, and then for some individuals, we have one-on-one coaching as well for them.
Wonderful. And that's a great lesson in general, right? To be coachable. And if you're not, to get to that point, to say, well, I can articulate my problems and I'm open to possibilities. And if someone gives me some solutions, I won't just shoot them down or prove myself right. I'll go after it and I'll listen to advice. And I know that it's not all figured out yet, but I know I need some help and I can get there if I maybe change my perspective and my habits and my actions and I do these right things and kind of reconfigure and rethink what I'm up to. And so if someone says, all right, I'm an entrepreneur, that sounds exactly like me. I need the help of Mr. Joey Toth and his team. What are some next steps here? What's the call to action?
Call to actions, go onto our website and either fill out the form or email me direct and get started. So you shared the website, the davidtuteramentorship.com, or our email, info@davidtutera.com, and subject line coaching.
Very nice. Info@davidtutera.com, subject line coaching, and davidtutera Since it's a podcast, we spell it out. That's DAVIDTUTERA mentorship.com. That's davidtutera to have this conversation, to get a few things figured out, to turn wishful thinking into intention making. So that way you can achieve more and get more and break out of your shell with the help of Joey Toth and the others on the team. They provide professional growth through positivity, mindfulness, and mindset growth. That's davidtuteramentorship.com. Before I let you go, Mr. Joey, it's time for the scary part of the show where I try to stump you. I try to put you on the spot. I ask for a fun or helpful quote or lesson that has served you in business or in life. So what comes to mind for our audience for a fun quote or lesson?
Make one person smile every day. And in 10 years, you'll have touched the lives of 3,650 people. That quote was from Helen Keller. And for me, it was just a great quote to see of that impact of just one smile. Just make one thing happen every day. And I take it farther of do one thing for yourself. So as you're making one other person smile, figure out how to do just one thing differently each day. Learn one thing. Spend just a little bit of time reading something new, trying something different every single day, working towards that goal. And you're going to make a huge difference in your life. We take for granted that one thing a day and how it could be so monumental when you look at it over a 10-year period.
Yes, that adds up. That compounds. That's what we should do. We should make it a habit. Make one person smile per day and do one thing for yourself per day. And let's think about that as we go to davidtuteramentorship.com. We've been chatting with Mr. Joey Toth, who changes lives, who inspires. He's a visionary. He touches lives positively. So check out that website, davidtuteramentorship.com. Mr. Joey Toth, it's been a blast speaking with you.
Thank you so much. It's been great speaking with you, Robert.